We're bringing our guest for this hour, joining us to discuss National Trial Attorney Michael Jaafar. You know, it's interesting, Michael, because I thought one of the comments, Kaylee Gonzalez's sister, you know, she had the insight in her comments to talk about the fact that, you know what, you think you're so smart, but you're not. And I think that whole line where she went down that was the one thing, the one way I think you could really get to a guy, as we're learning more about Kohberger through these documents, how you could really get to him.
Yeah, there's a precedent for this type of person, this type of sociopathy. I watched a documentary a few years ago about the BTK killer. That person actually was a police officer. And the documentary broke down the psychology of a person just like the BTK killer, which I see a lot of parallels with Kohberger. And they surreptitiously recorded him before the interview, after the interview, before they caught him, after they caught him. And what they found was that people like the BTK killer and people like Kohberger want to be found, and they love the attention. And for them, it's a gross, grotesque, morbid type of art form for them because of their mental health issues. And so the BTK killer, when he was uncovered, he actually enjoyed talking to investigators about how he did it, how he covered his tracks, what he did to cover his tracks. And then he even told the interviewer after he confessed everything, I feel great. This feels really good. And then later on, when all the attention went away, he was interviewed again. He said, I made a mistake. I'm depressed. Nobody's giving me attention anymore. This was the BTK killer. And I'm seeing the same thing in these interviews with Brian Kohberger. I think that's the mental health issues right there, right like on par with one another.
Yeah, I would have to agree. And it's interesting because I think that partly can explain why he went back the next morning, again, to get that high again, to see what was going on, people paying attention to his work, how that was going.